Maha Cartoon TV.
Wolf. If we do something bad with someone, then we also end up receiving the same. But even if we don't do anything bad in life, still sometimes something happened to us that is unforgettable. Something similar happened with me and Nilesh too.
Jenny, come on fast. Why are you walking so slowly?
Nilesh, I am very tired. I can't walk anymore. That day we were going for trekking. Nilesh was very excited. He was very fond of such adventures, but not me. I was very tired while walking that day. I told him that let's take some rest, but he didn't agree. I wish he would. I started resting near a tree, but it left me behind, and he went ahead. I called him several times, but he didn't hear me. Just after a few moments, I heard Nilesh's screaming voice. What happened, Nilesh? I immediately ran towards Nilesh, and I skipped my heartbeats after seeing his situation. Nilesh was moaning while laying on the ground. I saw big claw marks on his back. I immediately took out the stuff from the bag and started treating him. I have already told you to be careful, Nilesh. He got faint for some time. I somehow brought him back home and immediately got him checked up by the doctor. I was happy that Nilesh was not harmed much. But at the same time, I was also scared as if something was about to happen. But without thinking much on all these things, I started taking care of Nilesh. Now I won't allow you to roam outside. Understood?
Hey Jenny, it was just a small accident. Nothing like this has happened before.
Nilesh was absolutely right that nothing like this had happened before. But this time our luck was in vain. It was a long night. Me and Nilesh went to sleep in the room. Around 12 o'clock in the night, I heard the sound of an animal chuckling. I immediately opened my eyes and started looking out of the window. But there were no animal outside. I might have had a bad dream, but it wasn't like that. After a while, I heard the sound of humming again, which scared me very much. The sound was coming from across the room. I immediately told Nilesh, Nilesh, please get up. I guess there is an animal that has entered our house. The sound of humming was coming from Nilesh only. I immediately went to Nilesh and I was quite shocked by what I saw. Nilesh was making a humming sound. I immediately woke him up and told him about it. But he laughed at it as if nothing had happened. The next day, I started thinking about all these things while cooking in the kitchen. Then Nilesh also came. I asked him to rest, but he didn't listen to me again. He started helping me in the kitchen. Nilesh, do one thing. Peel off these vegetables, but be careful on your hands. Nilesh was cutting vegetables with a knife when I heard his screaming. I immediately went to him and saw that his finger was cut off. But what was even more astonishing was that blue blood was flowing from his finger.
Did you see it?
I immediately tied a bandage on his finger and asked him to rest in the room. But I couldn't understand anything. I thought after feeding Nilesh, I would definitely ask the doctor about it. I cooked Nilesh's favorite food and immediately went to the room. Nilesh, look, I made your favorite dish. Today I will feed you with my own hands. Don't know why. At that time, my hands were twitching, but somehow I managed myself. I started feeding Nilesh, but then I felt something strange. Gradually, the size of Nilesh's pupils started changing its color, and in no time, black thick hair started coming out of his forehead. Within a few minutes, his body was filled with hair, and a strange smell started coming from his body. Nilesh started acting like an animal. I was not able to understand anything. I couldn't believe whatever I was seeing. I don't know whether it was real or my imagination. I couldn't control myself after seeing all this, and a tense look on my face delivered him towards me. Then he asked me, "What happened?" I didn't tell him anything. It was enough now. I immediately left the room and called the doctor. Doctor? Nilesh? I somehow told everything to the doctor, but even the doctor did not know about it. I had no idea what to do now. I read all kinds of books, but I couldn't find anything. One night while searching on the laptop, I found an article. In it, I saw claw marks, which were exactly like the marks on Nilesh's back. There was also a mention all those things that happened to Nilesh. Whether it was blue-colored blood or the sudden hair coming out of the body. At the end of the article, a dangerous thing was written, and after reading that line, I skipped my heartbeats. I immediately turned off the laptop. Just then Nilesh entered the room. I immediately said while crying and hugging him, "Nilesh, I won't let anything happen to you." I told him everything, but he took a promise from me that I should do whatever is right at that time. But all this was very difficult for me because the next day was a full moon night, the day that dangerous thing was going to come true. I spent the whole night trying to find out about Nilesh's treatment, but I didn't know anything. In the morning, I went to cook food for Nilesh in the kitchen. But after a while, I heard some sound from the room. I called Nilesh, but he didn't answer. When I entered the room, I was shocked to see that Nilesh was hanging himself. "Nilesh! What are you doing? Wait!" I somehow got him down from the chair. Nilesh said that he could not see me upset, so he did this. I scolded him a lot for this. I am very upset now. I spent the whole day in search of a solution for Nilesh's problem, but I could not find anything. At night, I started trembling in fear. I had closed the window with curtains and even asked Nilesh to not leave the room. But all these things were of no avail. It was midnight. I was going to get water for Nilesh when suddenly my foot slipped and I fell on the curtains and I got teared. As soon as the moonlight coming from the window fell on Nilesh, he started shouting loudly, "Nilesh! No!" Hair started growing all over Nilesh's body. His teeth became large and fierce. His body became more than double in size, like an animal. Everything written in that article turned out to be true. Soon Nilesh turned into a wolf. Suddenly he calmed down. I slowly went to him and said, "Nilesh, you're fine, aren't you?" Then Nilesh shouted loudly, which scared me so much that I lost my balance and I fell down. He started following me in the room. He had forgotten who I was. I hid under the bed to avoid him. In the midst of all this, I remembered the promise made to Nilesh. What was right at that time, I did not want to do it at all. Nilesh, please forgive me. I immediately took out the silver knife from the cupboard and waited for Nilesh to come to me. As soon as he came near me, I stabbed the knife directly in his chest. Nilesh started suffering badly and fell on the ground. Soon his body changed back to human form, but he had left me forever till then. I had killed my husband, and this was also Nilesh's last wish, so that he could not harm anyone by becoming a wolf. Even in this last time, he thought about the good of all the people. I supported him in his goodness, but at the same time, I also got the grief of being separated from him.
If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and comment, and to be the first person to watch our videos, make sure to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for timely notifications.